Hey guys, just going to give you a real quick overview, not going to go into depth, just of kind of where everything is on the board. In a minute we'll go deeper into everything on another video, but for right now this is just kind of where everything is. If you get lost or you don't understand something or what something is, don't worry, either ask me about it or check it out in another video. Right now I just want to get you familiar with kind of where everything is. So the first thing you'll notice is that these faders over here, there's a bank of 16 faders, and they all have select, solo, mute buttons, and then they've got this channel strip that says, names the channel number, the name of the thing. It's color coded. It's got a little picture in there. It's great, colorful, pretty, very useful. So what that means is, this is called the scribble strip. You never have to put a piece of tape down here again and label stuff. It's all in the computer. We'll show you how to do that in a bit. Then you got your mutes, and you got your faders. There's only 16 channels here, but there are 32 channels that come into the board. So that's solved by pushing this button here. You see you've got these 4 buttons here. They control what these 16 faders show you. So when this one's highlighted, you're seeing channels 1 through 16. When you push this, the faders switch, and now you've got channels 17 through 32. Same thing, scribble strip, everything's the same. Now it's just different channels. If you move these up here, go back to 1 through 16, go back through 17 through 32, they're still up. So it's just like there were 32 all laid out, it just kind of folded over and in layers here. Next button down is the aux input, not aux sends, but aux inputs, 1 through 6, right here. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The USB recorder returns. So this is where the USB sound, if you've got something recorded on your USB drive and you want to play it back, it comes back through these 2 channels on the board. So if you're trying to play back what you just recorded on the USB and you can't hear it, this button, and then make sure this is unmuted. These 2 are in stereo, it's a left and right thing, so the faders move together, the mutes go together, everything. Then you got your effects returns, okay? I'm not going to get too in depth to these right now, just know that they're here, and that if you want to hear any of the effects, if you're using any of the effects on the vocals or whatever, you're not going to hear them if these are, if that effect is muted. So if you're trying to use FX1 and you can't hear it, check here and see if it's unmuted. Make sure the volume's up at 0, unity. Okay, that's what that is. Then down here you've got the bus master. So this controls all the master volumes for all the bus sends. There's another place where this happens. This happens over here. We're about to show you what that is. But if you wanted to see all 16 buses at once, you can do that with this bus master button. And this controls a master volume. So this one's set up for the left monitor. This controls a master volume for the left stage wedge, right there. This is the other one. This is a recording, so on and so forth. Okay? So that's over here. 1 through 32, aux ins, USB return, FX return, bus master. Again, if you don't know what some of those things are right now, don't worry. We'll get into it, and some of it's just you're never going to use, so don't worry about it. Over here, you've got your DCA groups, which are basically like collection points. You can assign these DCA groups faders to control groups of other instruments. So if we wanted to be able to control all our vocals with one button and be able to turn them all up and all down all at the same time, or all the drums, you can assign them to this, turn them up and down, and it'll adjust the volumes like you were pushing all of those faders up and down. So if I put these 2 on this DCA group, moving this fader would be like moving both of these faders at the same time. Okay, that doesn't actually move, but it's as if that were happening. To assign those, I'll go ahead and explain that here since it's pretty simple. You just hold the select button, and it's going to show you which channels are assigned to that DCA, and then you just push the buttons you want to put in it. So if I wanted those 3 in it, I would hold it while I'm holding this button. I would push the select button. If I wanted to take them out, you do the same thing. Hold it and push it. Now, this fader would control the volume of these 3 channels. Okay, that's what the DCAs are. Next down is bus 1 through 8. This is just the master volumes. Same thing as this over here is the bus master. So you can even see if I push this fader up and down, that one moves over there too, because it's doing the exact same thing. This one's just showing all 16. This one's showing 8 at a time. So here's 1 through 8, and here's 9 through 16. Okay? Down here, the matrix sins, 1 through 6. And then the matrix bus is here, and then the mono bus. Don't worry about that right now. If you want to know more about what that does, ask me about it. We use this one, but you'll never touch it. It'll stay just like this. We don't use the mono bus. So don't even worry about this. Unless you want to know, then come ask me. Okay? That's that. And then right here, we've got the main fader right here, left and right. Main fader, it's got the same thing. Select button. The clear solo button, if you had several things soloed over here and you just wanted to get them all unsoloed quickly, you just push clear solo and they all go away. Okay? Just like that. Then it's got its own solo button and a mute button for the main fader as well. Okay? Up here, we've got your gain, your dynamics and gate section, equalizer, and then some shortcuts to the bus. Now you'll notice the main difference here between the analog board is on the analog board you have one strip and all of everything's all in one line. Here it's not like that. It's one gain knob on the whole board. And so the way you adjust the gain is all these things up here, all these encoders and things here are representing the characteristics of whatever channel is selected. So you'll see, it changes as we move down the line. Oh, see, I'm on the buses here. That's not a great example. So here we go. So there we go. That's a guitar. That's a vocal. Whatever. So you can see it all change. So again, not going in depth into this right now. Just showing you where it is. So this is the gain knob for whatever channel selected. That's phantom power, 48V, 48 volts. So you can, some channels will have phantom power, some will not. That's determined by what type of mic is used, or some of the guitar preamp direct boxes use phantom power. So that's that. There's a phase reverse switch. Actually, I think it's polarity, but it's called phase on here, but that's not important. Don't worry about that. Ask me when to use that if you want to know when to use it. We're not going to talk about that right now. Here's a low cut. So just like on the old board, there was a low cut. That's what this is. To engage the low cut, you have to make sure the button's pushed, and then you turn this encoder to wherever you want it. And that's going to turn the low cut on. Okay? You'll also be able to see this over here on the screen moving up and down. Okay? So make sure that's on if you want it. And then in a lot of these boxes, there's a view button, which is really great. So you just push the view button, and it's going to switch you to the relevant screen over here. So when you push the view button here, you can see the actual hertz that you're adjusting with the low cut. Next is the gate and the dynamics section. I'll explain more about the gate and dynamics, what they do, but this controls the threshold of the compressor or the expander, and then this controls the threshold for the noise gate. Right here. Same. They've got the view buttons as well. If you want to make sure, if you want to engage them, you push. They have to be. These lights have to be lit up right there. Also, there's a little meter here that's going to show you the amount of compression, and the bottom light is going to light up if the gate is active. Okay? Don't be intimidated by all that right now. If you're not familiar with that stuff, I'll explain it later. Equalizer section. Same deal. If you want the equalizer to be on, you have to push this button. This has to be lit up. Otherwise, you're going to be twiddling stuff and wondering why you're not hearing any change, or maybe you will convince yourself that you are hearing change, but nothing will be changing. Got to have that equalizer button hit. Same thing here, where you can go to the view, and then it's going to snap you to your equalizer. One of the cool things about that cord out of the way. The cool things about this board is that you're going to be able to see your EQ changes visually. So if I'm turning the gain knob up here on that frequency, it's going up and down. I can adjust and see it, and then I can sweep the frequency with the frequency knob here, and then the Q moves it in and out. These buttons here are going to adjust which one of these that you're going to be controlling. Okay, so if you want the high, then you're going to be controlling that one up there. If you want the high mid, you're controlling that one there. Low mid, that one there. Low, okay, that one there. This mode button here adjusts whether or not you're going to be, if you're on low, it's going to be either the low cut, the low shelf, the VEQ or the PEQ, which I'll explain all that in the equalizer video. Try not to get too in depth right now. If you're low mid or high mid, it's just going to be the VEQ or PEQ. And if you're at the high, it's going to be the high cut, high shelf, VEQ or PEQ. Okay, and that's just going to change. It'll be all represented over there immediately too, as you're pushing them. Okay, so that's where the equalizer is. We'll talk more about that later. Then you've got the bus sends right here. And they're broken up 1 through 4, 5 through 8, 9 through 12, 13 through 16. So this button here is determining what these do, what these encoders do. So right now, number 1 is number 1. When I push this, now number 1 is number 5, because now these 4 encoders are representing buses 5 through 8. So again, for the selected channel. So if I have this channel activated, number 1, this is showing how much send is going into bus 1, which is one of the monitors, and how much send is going into bus 2. So if I wanted to turn that channel down in this monitor, I just grab that encoder and pull it down. If I want to turn down another channel, I just hit select and pull it down. Okay? We'll talk about that more later. This right here is the main bus and main bus send, which with the mono bus, don't worry about this right now. And then we've got the pan and balance. So you can pan lift things left and right. We won't use that because we're actually sending things out mono. But make sure on all the channels, if nothing is coming out of it and everything else has been checked, make sure the stereo bus light is lit up. Okay. Let's see. Okay, up here is where you put your USB recorder in to record. Pushing this button is the only way that I know of that you can get to this to the interface where you're going to actually record. So this is an important button. So when you're ready to record the teaching, you got to get here and push record. Okay. This brings us to the actual screen, which you've seen a couple times. It's got a clock up there. It's going to show you which channel is selected here always. You got your buttons over here, which will go more in depth on what they all do. This goes up and down in layers, these buttons here. So if there's a page with multiple menus on the bottom, like this one, it scrolls back and forth between what the encoders down here do. And then this moves tabs over left and right. These encoders control what they're linked to right here. So if I turn this, let's go to something better. Okay. So if I adjust this knob, it's going to adjust whatever parameter is right here. Right now it's adjusting the insert position. If you click it, it activates the thing. They click and they turn, all these knobs. Up here you've got your meters. So this is what's coming out of the main bus here. These two here, left and right. And then this one is either the mono bus, which should never be lit up, or it's a solo. So if I push the solo button, then whatever's coming through that channel is going to get its own little meter right here, which is really useful to check gains on things. Okay. Over here we have a lamp plug-in. We don't have one right now. Then the external mic input for the talkback, so to talk to the stage or whatever. Then the talkback level, and then a button that says talk A and talk B, as well as a view button that's going to put all this up there. So the way we've been using it, there's actually a mic located right here. So instead of having a handheld mic back here that you use, you can just push and hold this button. Wow, and there it goes. And then you can talk into this microphone, and it's going to come out there. I just cranked up the talkback volume unnecessarily, but you hold that button. If you talk through talk A, I think it goes to the monitors. If I hold down talk B, it's going to go to the main speakers. Okay, so talk A goes just to the people on stage theoretically. Talk B goes to everybody, so it comes out the mains. So what that does. Over here you can adjust the headphones level, and then you can adjust the monitor level, which this is not monitor like stage monitors. This is something we're not going to probably use, so don't worry about that. You can check it in mono. We'll always be in mono. And then this dims it. So if it's too loud, you can hit that and it'll dim it down. You can also view that right there. Okay, moving on. Down here is the scenes button. The only way to see the scenes menu is to push this view button here. And that's going to show you the scenes list. You're probably not going to use this, but this can scroll back and forth between scenes on the fly really quickly if you need it to. Down here is the assign section. We're going to talk more in depth about this later, but basically what this is for, these 4 encoders And these buttons down here, these 8 buttons, can be kind of set up to do just about anything on the board. They're kind of like shortcuts to anything. So there's 4 encoders and then 8 buttons, but then there's 3 banks of those. So for example, 3 sets. So if I've got, right now set A is selected. So in set A, these 4 are assigned to do something, these 8 are assigned to do something. In set B, there can be assigned to do something completely different. In set C, something completely different. So I'll talk more about what those do later, but basically we've got them up for kind of shortcut, some things with the monitors, and then shortcuts to get your virtual sound check going, which we'll talk more about that. Down here are mute groups. What the mute groups do is, as you can see, you can assign different things to the mute group, and when I push this button, it's going to mute whatever I want, whatever I've got assigned in that group. You can have up to 6. Right now I think we've got mute group 1 mutes channels 1 through 16, so all the musical stuff, but it doesn't mute anything else. Channel 2, mute group 2 mutes everything else, 17 through 32, and mute group 3 mutes it all. So if you need to just mute everything really quickly, this is where you can go to do that. 1, 2, or 3, or you can do any combination. Okay, and here's an awesome place to hold your cell phone if you wanted to do that. Again, I think I showed you in the setup video, there's a headphone jack here in the side, and then there's a headphone jack here as well. So there's 2 sets of headphone jacks if you need them. That's the basic overview. I know that's a lot, but we'll be going more in depth into everything else in just a minute. All right.